Oh, I'm just going to jump straight in with a comment that's just come up in response to your presentation, Wiktoria. Really interesting and needed presentation. This is from Lisa, so thank you. And recently found a visual to help summarize potential workplace accommodations. So that will be in the Q&A, so you'll be able to have a look at that later. So thank you. Okay, so we'll go through some comments and questions for both Ekaterina and Wiktoria. One that Damian posted before he left, and that's aimed at Ekaterina. He said he'd be interested to hear more about connections to language games and Wittgenstein.
It's just I used this concept to describe the interactional patterns that are unique for various people, and I've noticed that a lot. For example, in the pair of Nikita and Slava. So they make their jokes, they focus on various aspects of words and of their reality, which I wouldn't even notice or I wouldn't focus on. So, and when they do that, this seems like a language game to me. So, and this is unique for them.
Interesting. I think there's so much, to pull out from there. In terms of doing a conversation analysis, there were some comments saying you're really interesting to see that type of transcript, not something, because it's such a specialized way of doing research, and as a couple of us said, a very complex way of doing research. Is this something that is kind of underutilized in autism research?
Oh.
Not used, yeah. So something that isn't used very much. I think it can and should be used. It's got some great applications.
Yes, I agree with you, because conversation analysis, it's a certain area in sociology and a method which is also used in linguistics right now, but they don't have like a certain area of research into autism. So this is called atypical interaction, and there are not so many works studying autism, not so many. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so somebody has just posted, Wiktoria, for workplace accommodations. I like to call them equitable requirements, because they make the workplace equitable, which is quite nice, isn't it? I think sometimes when we use the phrase accommodations, it seems like, you're being given something, but as you say, it is just about making it a fair and equitable place to work. You finished by saying, Wiktoria, that we could improve neurodivergent career support and advice. It's something I'm kind of conscious that I don't think we do particularly well, in higher education, for example, preparing graduates for going out into the workplace. Would you recommend anything? Do you have any ideas about how we might make that better?
I actually plan on doing my PhD around it, and possibly my master's. So I don't have any recommendations yet. I hope to have in a year or two. But first on, I will definitely say that we need to move further from the deficit model and just focus on our strengths. And I don't want to get into the superpowers discourse that's kind of also really bad for autistic people. But we have to definitely look at what can be done with our what can be done to better understand ourselves and to see ourselves as competent and capable and empowering us. I believe that this part of empowering to negotiate accommodations is a great part in career support and empowering for entrepreneurship, because as I mentioned, like one of my interviewees actually became self-employed, so she could negotiate her working conditions better. And I believe that's mostly it. And also a lot of just acceptance, and acceptance is just crucial in any care setting, including career support. So and just looking at us as humans who have their strengths and weaknesses and not only deficits.
Absolutely, absolutely, and like Krisha's paper early on about the will there be an exhibition, and they said watch this space. I think this is another watch this space once you've started doing your master's dissertation or your PhD. So I don't know if there's anything. Let me see. Yeah, another comment about this equitable requirements as a nice phrase to explain what, and Lisa said, I'm going to take that into school with me, where we talk about reasonable accommodations, and it so often I think that just means people doing the bare minimum that has to be done, rather than making sure an environment is truly equitable. Lots of comments for all participants. Sorry, Victoria, were you going to respond then?
Yeah, I also would like to thank for the term equitable requirements. I didn't know this before, and I think it's also the language that we use can be either empowering or not. So I try to use your term from now on instead of accommodations, if that's what more preferable.
Seems nice, a nice phrase, doesn't it? And as Dave says, attracting and crucially retaining autistic employees is a system-wide thing, isn't it? It's all the way from advertising through to induction, support, progression. So absolutely. I don't want to keep people. We're over slightly, but I think we've done fairly well, considering we've had 8 amazing papers, incredible comments from people, really thoughtful. Yeah, a great day. Hopefully, as I say, we'll be able to give the Q&As to presenters afterwards, so you can have a look through and potentially respond to any, or we'll look at a way of doing that. So firstly, I'd like to sort of draw to a close by thanking, firstly, all our presenters for submitting an abstract in the first place, for sharing their work with us, and for creating an environment, and as so many people put in the comments, sharing work that is so vitally important and that resonates with so many people here. And it's when you're doing your research at whatever stage you are, you sometimes have that moment of, why am I doing this? Am I doing the right thing? When what you're doing resonates with so many people, you're absolutely doing the right thing. And I think the themes that kind of have come through today about autistic experience being misunderstood or invalidated, the work that you're doing, all of you are doing, goes a long way to challenging that. And it's lovely to see the use of creative methods or methods that aren't traditionally used, like conversation analysis. And as Paul said, we need to get more sociology in there. So it's nice to see conversation analysis being used. As Damian said earlier, there will be some workshops in the new year. They're likely to be sort of twilight events. So probably sort of 4 till 7 in the evening, UK time. But we'll be in touch with you about that once we've got some dates and a bit more, something a bit more concrete to share with you. And finally, I just want to say thank you to all the attendees. I know that it's been a little bit clunky at times. There's been a couple of technical issues. We started a little bit late, but I have to say, thank you for your patience and for your engagement. And I think Elise is that hasn't been able to see comments today, and it's one of the unfortunate things about Teams. But Elise said, I thank everybody's support, and yes, please continue the conversation on Twitter or Instagram or whatever else people are moving to now. And thank you to me and Damian for organising. But and I think just to finish, I'm very good at saying, oh, and finally one more thing. I just think the final comment from Stephen I was going to say final comment, but then lots of people. Here's to autistic affirmativity and culture is definitely something we should be sharing. I will, somebody put, I will respond to that about, yes, Dave, is it possible to get notification further in advance? Yes, with the workshops, we'll be getting the dates out fairly quickly. As I say, there'll be New Year, sort of probably looking January and February. But we were quite tight, and we were conscious we were tight this time in advertising through to sort of the invitations going out. But we just wanted to get it done before Christmas. We just wanted to make the most of what brilliant abstracts we had, and we didn't want to wait. But yes, I promise we'll make more notification last time. So thank you, everybody. Continue conversations and continue with the autistic affirmativity and culture. And thank you, everyone. Take care.